Hi, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your general reading for May 2020. We're just going to get directly into the reading. So, as you can see, I am using the Radiant White. I have the La Vida Sibila here. Depending on the story of the cards, I will either pull an angel answer or a romance angel card. I may even pull both, but for certain, we will wrap the reading up with the Golden Nostradamus oracle card. So here we go. Uh-oh, my water. Hold on. Here we go. 9 cards down. The Four of Pentacles. Why? Oh, well, hell, that's why I can't. Why it's so weird. It's way over on the other side of the camera. The Four of Pentacles. Oh, the reversed. Who is she? Drawn a blank. High Priestess is written right on the card, right? Okay. And then there's the Knight of Swords. Well, I don't know if some of you may be receiving a message from somebody with the initials LB, but I think that's possible. Okay. The reverse 8 of Cups. But you will most definitely be receiving a message. The Judgment card. I don't know if this is a legal issue. The reverse 8 of Wands. So something has definitely, I've got 2 8s here, so something has completely slowed down. And I also have 2 2s. So this is some kind of partnership issue. Not so much a partnership as it is some kind of choice or decision that you're going to have to make based upon this news that's coming in. The Four of Wands. So now I also have 2 4s. So I don't know if there was a change of a relocation, a change of address, a house move, something of that nature. There's the Three of Pentacles. So some kind of group or what am I trying to say? Something as well to do with, I think, familial issues is what I think this is. Let me, and then the 8 of Swords. Go sit down, Luke. So I have 3 8s, 2 4s, 2 2s, and a 3. Okay. Oh, wow. With the 9 of Swords. Well, you guys, you are definitely someone, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, is definitely in the thick of it, or will be coming up. You know, if I had to say one good thing about this, it starts with a 9, or the 9 is hovering over it. But whatever this news is, even though the situation may go backward or be delayed, you're in an 8. Okay? And to me, this 8 is the idea of either you are feeling sorry for yourself because the situation didn't go the way you hoped or planned or wanted it to or dreamed that it would, or you did not trust your intuition and things got derailed. But you're not in such a position that you can't get yourself out. Okay? You're just going to have to change the way that you think. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is take a look, give you the definition of the 3 8s. Now, this says you and your beloved are going on a trip. Well, we see this trip here, because a lot of times this is about taking a trip. It's about travel. It is about, most of the time, air travel. Maybe some of you had to return home. Remember that familial issue that I was talking about? There's a new, I want to say, a rebirth of the family unit. But what I mean by that is in the sense that it's going to be, whatever has happened, it's going to create a new family nucleus, in the sense that maybe somebody had to leave the family. And so those of you who are left are going to have to reform and regroup without this person. I do get the sense that somebody maybe has left home. Maybe somebody's even returning home and you're going to have to regroup. Maybe there's somebody you ain't looking forward to seeing. You know, I don't know. That's what I have for you. The 2 4s, as I said, usually speak to house repairs or looking to move house. 2 2s, harmonious changes in communication and the need to make a choice. However, this reverse, um, what's her name? Queen, High Priestess. I don't know if somebody's been hiding something from you. And this is in a financial sense, because what's interesting is we go from an upside down 4 of Pentacles to a right side up 3 of Pentacles. So this may be the idea that somebody can some decision comes in, or some news, or some message, judgment. It's about looking at things and using your best judgment. Okay. And this may have some kind of hidden undercurrents to it that have not played themselves out yet. This is saying that you think that you are in a situation in which you cannot get out of, but this is not true. You can always extricate yourself from a situation. It may not be easy. It may not be without pain and, upset, but, this too shall pass. So let's take a look first at this reversed High Priestess. Okay, this is the first thing I want to take a look at. Remember how I told y'all I was always looking at my stuff on my phone? I finally put my documents together. This ain't the full book, but there it is. Okay, so the reverse meaning: ignorance, warnings, misuse of abilities, surface knowledge, conceit, immoral nature. When the High Priestess appears reversed, it may be telling of someone who is shallow and conceited. This person may be selfish and has a weak character and may lack stamina. It tells you not to place your trust in someone or a situation until you have completely analyzed it or them from all angles, as it could adversely affect an important relationship or support base. It indicates a distinct lack of commitment, and it can suggest a lack of inner harmony resulting from the suppression of feelings and the failure to acknowledge unconscious guidance and to go against your own intuition. That's what this is. Because I think some of you have been having dreams about it. Maybe like premonitions even. It tells of a superficial situation involving someone who has a weak character and who lacks enthusiasm, stamina, and strength. This poor person will not be supportive of you. It may be implying that you are looking for support or a commitment from someone close, but it is not forthcoming. It may be asking you to examine all aspects of an issue or situation, so be careful in who you confide and analyze everything. It indicates strong tendencies towards mood swings and unstable emotions that can impair your judgment. Resulting in jealousy and a lack of insight and tact. At this time, it is difficult to accept advice or counseling from others, and the desire for secretiveness combined with the inability to share can lead to a waste of knowledge and skills. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe there's some secret that you have that you're trying to keep under wraps at the time. It may also be warning of misguided psychic talents. Appearing reversed, it may be a warning to remain vigilant as there are hidden secrets and or a mystery afoot. If you are male or you're taking the male role, and if this is a relationship issue, romantic, it can signify negative feelings towards women or that feminine qualities in yourself are being ignored. Now, that ain't really what I'm picking up. This is some kind of, I think, familial, financial, property issue. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at these 4 of coins here. This book is huge, you guys. It's a tome. I swear it. Let me get back here to the coins, to the pentacles, and I want to first see if there is a meaning next to these 4 of coins, next to these 2 major arcana cards. Okay. Next to the high priest, it tells that you need to be absolutely certain of all aspects before committing yourself to anything, as there are many hidden undercurrents at this time. And whatever this is, this brings you the news. Yes. The reversed Four of Pentacles, suspension, delay, loss, opposition, obstacles, hindrances, postponements, jealousy, envy, greed, attachment to material items or objects. With the reversed Eight of Cups. Now, this Eight of Cups reversed has a very odd meaning to me. The keywords, anyway. Because first, let's see if it has a meaning next to any of these. It does not. This says great joy, happiness, material success, feasting. Well, I would say, yeah, if this is about the idea that you've had to maybe hang on to something or you've lost some kind of financial thing, you know, maybe you're still, in a kind of a good place, a decent place, in terms of property. I'm going to read that. Let me go back to this Four of Pentacles because, and read the full thing at the reverse 5. It indicates one who is attached to materialistic realms. This person enjoys power and always wants to be in charge. They will put in extra effort towards attaining money, financial, or material gain. It signifies a miserly tendency and reveals a negative attitude in holding on to what one has at the expense of embracing anything new and fresh. Miserliness can extend to the realm of emotions. One's attitude towards money as a valuable commodity can be linked to one's feelings about oneself and others as being valuable and worthwhile. Therefore, stinginess with money is associated with the lack of emotional generosity. It may also indicate as much fear of losing emotionally as there is of losing financially. It tells of someone becoming a miser. It also tells of this energy stifling the financial flow. You know how you always hear me say, if people aren't going to share their money with you, they ain't going to share nothing else with you either. Their time, their emotions, they're not going to share anything with you because they don't value you and or what you bring to the partnership. Appearing reversed, it indicates a reluctance to give up anything or to share fairly. This can apply to a relationship or career or any other aspect of life. A fear of failure and loss is most likely the root cause of this attitude and needs to be adjusted. It may indicate that others may be jealous of your wealth or social standing and are plotting to create obstacles for you. It indicates that you will enjoy a financially rewarding period, but in order to gain this material wealth, you may have to experience a loss of some sort. A form of inheritance may be gained through the death of a relative or close friend when it appears reversed. Alternatively, it may be suggesting the end of a relationship or partnership which will result in a payout of sorts. It may be suggesting the end of a job, occupation, or career path. You may receive a retrenchment payout at this time. You will lose your job security but will gain monetarily in the short term. It may be indicating that a person is acting in a greedy and stingy manner. A person may be cutting themselves off from the world at large. It tells of a need to establish new plans so that you are prepared when upsets and or delays take place. Opposition may delay future plans. It would be advisable to have an alternative plan or option ready just in case. Money spent unwisely is implied by the reverse Four of Pentacles. It may also imply irresponsible decision making, false economy, greed, and the squandering of resources. You are to keep a check on this to your own financial stability and security. And there you go. Now the reverse Eight of Cups indicates uncertainty about the future and indecision about which direction to head. Some serious thought and soul searching is needed at this time. It implies dissatisfaction, disappointment, disillusionment, feeling rejected, dejected, and defeated. Reassess your position, then make alternative arrangements or amend plans accordingly. It tells of temptations to pursue temporary distractions even though all is well at home. Appearing reversed, it tells of putting emotional security at risk by believing that the grass is greener on the other side. It may be indicating that your interests and priorities lay within the material realm, and it may be implying that money is desperately needed at this time, and you must be willing to put your efforts and hard work into attaining it. It may be indicating that changes need to be made in regard to your attitude and lifestyle. So be sure your choices and decisions. Be sure of your choices and decisions before undertaking these changes. It is an indication that situations may take a negative turn. Sweeping changes need to be made in your life when the Eight of Cups appears reversed. Once this is done, positive energies will usher into your life and lighten your attitude. Reverse, this is a message to do with changes, and it is indicated that you need to view a situation or issue from all angles before making any major changes in your life. This is not a good time to move or travel when the Eight of Cups appears reversed in a reading. It is an indication that something or someone is preventing the facilitation of introspection. This can be due to circumstances or by the actions of another person or people, and can be due to the individual not wanting to face the facts as they are and deal with them. So we see two people with their eyes closed. Reversed Eight of Wands. Jealousy, internal dispute, a twinge of consciousness, quarrels, arguments, domestic disputes, a lack of harmony, misunderstanding, stagnation, confusion, and misdirection. The reversed Eight of Wands may be warning of an upcoming dispute or misunderstanding or an ill thought out comment. It tells of insecurities and a lack in confidence. This will impede your progress. It tells you to beware of quarrels and jealousies as they will not resolve the issue. It indicates that there is uncertainty and confusion as things are not going to plan. A lack of organization and an inability to cope with a complex situation means that although there is much activity and effort, little is actually achieved. Emotional control is necessary in this instance. It tells of the inability to work as part of a team. Cooperation is needed. Do not make any important decisions in haste. Think carefully about all facets, as some adjustments or changes will need to be made to ensure that the outcome will be positive and successful. It tells you not to attempt to use force or pressure, as this will ruin or distort your goals or plans. Oh, that was supposed to be reversed. I don't know if I was holding it the right way. Now, I'm getting the sense as well that this Knight of Swords is also a person. It is also a person. Let me give you his characteristics. That's the Knight of Cups. I need the Knight of Swords. The key words of the Knight of Swords are opposition, resistance, ruin, defense, address, wrath, war, destruction, skill, bravery, capacity, good intentions, strength, bravery, self-defense, strife, financial matters, misfortune, haste, impulsiveness, impatience, changes, and disorder. And maybe that's what this is. Maybe you didn't have all of the facts and you went against what your intuition was telling you, and you just went ahead and made a decision to go against somebody or something. Now, this could be that the person, there's somebody else who's done this as well. The depicts someone who is intelligent, responsible, courageous, loyal, and trustworthy. He is generally someone who is courteous and has the right intentions, can prove capable in demanding crisis and emergency situations, and makes for a strong ally. The Knight of Swords is a very brave, courageous young man or woman who challenges injustices. This person makes for a reliable, staunch, and true friend. Although the knight means well, he can come across as domineering and his attitude can be quite overbearing at times. It indicates the ability to adjust to changes as they happen. The Knight of Swords is one who stands up for the underdog. It depicts one who likes to be constantly on the move, gathering new ideas and concepts along the way, although those same ideas and concepts can be dropped just as quickly. The message indicates youth, transition, struggle, and conflict. When he appears in a writing, he's being depicted as riding into battle and implies that there is a focus on reckless actions. It implies that a difficult period of time is indicated, and it indicates that a stagnant situation will soon change. The outcome will be favorable if a firm line is taken. Appearing in a reading, it implies that you may find yourself involved with a person who acts impulsively and whose thoughts are erratic. This person could be either an enemy of yours or a loyal friend whose intention is to act in your favor. It may be implying that some misfortune may visit your life for a brief time. You are asked not to make any rash or hasty decisions. It indicates swift changes around an issue or situation at the current time. These changes will initially bring upheaval, but then positive opportunities will become apparent once all settles. It brings a message that someone will stand by you, give support, and defend you when necessary. This person brings with him or her a rush of positive energies. When the Knight of Swords appears, it indicates a time when communication and mental development will be prevalent. It can be an indication of sudden changes which may disrupt the normalcy of life. You are asked to pay careful consideration to the cards surrounding this, as they hold the key to what area of life may be affected. You will need to be wary of indulging in impulsive and erratic actions. Well, obviously, it's a change in thought, emotions and thoughts, but also in directionality. As if to say, you're going to have to go back and deal with whatever this is. At least somebody will. Okay? But there's something I think you're not seeing, or at the very least, something you're not trying to deal with. But you're going to have to, because that's the only way that the situation is going to change. No other way. Because this judgment card falls in the center, I'm going to look at it first. The Vedevo, the Amalato, and the Pensiero. We are dealing with a male. There's a male involved in this. This may be who this Knight of Swords is. Now, what's interesting is that the Vedevo can sometimes be that character that I just described, the person who's not willing to share anything with you. Now, I don't know if somebody's been ill or sick. We see one person mourning the Vedevo. We see another person ill and sick. So I think this is more of a mental thing. Hence these cards here. Let's see what this Knight of Swords is telling us or attempting to tell us. What is the message or the news coming in? The Mercante. The Precious Presence. Wow. And the Belvedere. So I do get the sense that somebody has rushed in to offer you, or at least they send out the word, here, I'm going to give you these gifts, or I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you X amount of money, or I'm going to give you these stocks and bonds, or I'm going to give you this job. It's a message that I'm going to help you do whatever it is you need to do so that you can move ahead and plan and plan. So the question becomes, what has happened here? I have these 2 8s. You know, something is going on that you don't necessarily know about. And I'm just, the reason why I'm saying this, these wands sometimes are like eyes to me, in the sense that they always know the direction in which to move. Why? Because they are very sure in terms of what it is they want to do. But at the same time, it's going, all of this is going over your head, literally. So I'm going to look at these these 8. I'm actually going to look at these 2 cards together. The Conversations, the Allegrezza al Cuore, and the Allegria. Well, that's interesting. And again, I'm getting this idea of 3 people here involved. And these 2 cards most certainly are about blood ties. Okay? The family. Let's read. We will start with the Vedavo. He is the 3 of Swords, or the 3 of Spades. It's a negative card with 1 neutral meaning. The effects are long-lasting. And this is about someone who has overcome the immediate shock of bereavement and has had time to pull himself together to visit the cemetery regularly. Why? Because he's dressed elegantly. So he was able to dress with some dignity again instead of letting himself go, as you might expect. And that applies time. The neutral meaning first, it can represent a man over 60. Not necessarily a widower, but he can also be single or unmarried. His temperament is going to be described by these next few cards. It represents traditionally sadness, remorse, and regret. It represents intense loneliness and isolation. It predicts a lack of support, a lack of affection, and even an inability to open one's heart again for a considerable time. There's that miserliness. Excuse me. I gotta sneeze. Oh, I always cough before I sneeze. Oh. The card describes someone who has suffered intensely, someone who has been defeated by the hardships of life and has lost all the joy of living. It can very well represent a widower or a widow, or someone who has been left by the love of their life. This card does not always signify the death of a loved one, at least not a physical death, but merely an end to something. It indicates difficulty in interacting with other people and warns of difficult times ahead. It can indicate dislike, hatred, and resentment between 2 people. You will feel left out in the cold and no one will be there to help you. You will feel utterly alone and helpless, as if someone has pulled the rug out from underneath you. Someone that you used to rely on for support will not be there anymore, or someone will withdraw all their help. It can also be interpreted metaphorically by indicating a void or a loss of some kind. It can represent someone who is undergoing a period of intense loneliness and isolation and solitude. In love, it heralds a separation, arguments, incompatibility, rancor, resentment towards another person, a relationship devoid of true love, and growing apart. In financial matters, it indicates financial collapse or the unsuccessful ending of a project that meant a lot to you. It usually entails making life-changing decisions and breaking away from something or someone. Metaphorically, the card can indicate estrangement, deprivation, absence, a lack of some kind, and moving away from a situation or a person. In financial matters, it represents financial loss, a dismissal, a lack of money, and an unwanted business trip or location. It can also generally, and one of the additional meanings is something that refers to foreign countries or the word abroad, great distances. That's what this card can sometimes be about. With the, I think that's the Four of Spades, the Amalato, who comes right behind him. This card always puts the focus on health and well-being, as it represents an illness, past or future, or someone who is already ill. It is connected to hospital appointments and periods of feeling unwell, both physically and mentally. The predominant meaning of this card is that of prolonged illness, recovery from an illness, and visits to the hospital or the doctors. In a broader sense, it foretells periods in which you will be forced to interrupt your daily routine and visit places that you would rather not go. It heralds a period of hardship and difficulty, resulting in subsequent dejection, demotivation, apathy, and depression, that lack of stamina. It represents a block, a pause in the smooth flowing of daily life. Just as sickness is seen as interrupting health, so is this card interrupted as a sort of is interpreted as a sort of interruption, stagnation, and a temporary block which causes nuisance and inner unrest. The card highlights the need to take a break from a stressful situation to regain one's health and inner strength on all levels. There may be a strong desire to go on holiday or even to a more spiritual level to spend more time in meditation and prayer and in following one's spiritual pursuits in order to nourish the soul after a spiritually taxing period of stress and hardship. Metaphorically, this card can represent any situation that is sick. This can be an unhealthy relationship, a personal flaw that needs healing, or a situation that is rife with pain, personal affront, and or corruption. But it can also indicate a pathological relationship with another or something that has been spoiled. So it also brings with it the connotation of something that is tainted and unclean. Here with the Pensiero, again the card of meditation. It reveals the thoughts and intentions of whoever it refers to, this Vedevo here. Now, this can sometimes be you, but if not, it relates to someone who's close to you. The card denotes the act of thinking about something. It not only refers to important decisions and possible misgivings and second thoughts, but also to projects and ideas. It is the card of creativity, learning, and study, including philanthropic pursuits. It indicates genius and intelligence, which is used for the greater good and therefore devoid of malice and cunning. This is the card which shows the presence of great skill and ability in whatever one does. It refers to meditation, inner journeys, great dreams that can be achieved, and spiritual growth. It is a card that foretells a period of pause or the need to wait for a situation to develop. But it also indicates that much time will be spent in serious consideration before the necessary steps can be taken. In love, it shows affinity, but more often than not, it points to the true intentions of either you towards your partner or vice versa, unless other cards indicate otherwise, and they kind of do. It also denotes one who is attached to a project, even if it brings little financial reward, more for what it stands for than the money that it makes. It can also indicate periods of internship, apprenticeship, or the following of any profession in which intelligence and sharpness are the key to its success. It's the card that represents the cerebral world of the intellect. When this card describes a person, it can indicate a philanthropist or a man of great intelligence. Generally, it can indicate magnanimity and a love of culture and study. Here is this. Now, I don't know why all of a sudden you are backed up. I think you are afraid to, because here's the message. And it is coming from this Mercantes. This is a neutral card. Basically, the main interpretation means work, one's job, a job offer. The secondary meanings that it can represent a businessman, one's boss, an equally powerful colleague for those who already have important job positions. And when it describes the inner nature of a person, the card describes a man who is meticulous, pragmatic, and has good business sense. A good salesman, and very often is also rich, not from having inherited his wealth, but from having been successful in business. The man is smart, but his perspicuity is more shrewdness than academic intelligence, such as the cards that show up with the great gentleman, the gran signore, or the letrato. It says that his charisma lies in his persona more than his appearance, as more often than not, he is not conventionally handsome, but exudes an aura of magnetism, leadership, and charisma. Professionally, this can be your boss or an entrepreneur, a salesman, a shopkeeper, a sales representative, an accountant, a banker, but someone who's very skilled at selling their product. They can also be someone who is good with figures, such as a mathematician, a physicist, a professor of scientific subjects, and or a scientist, but only when the cards are nearby academic learning, and they are not. The man is usually honest, trustworthy, and has a lot of common sense. In financial matters, it indicates prosperous commerce, meeting influential people, and advantageous business, job, or offers. Nevertheless, if negative cards follow, the positive connotations of prosperity will fade quickly. Well, there are no negative cards in the actual Sibila spread. What is that? That's the ace and the 3 of. Okay. The precious presence. There are several layers of meanings to this card. The neutral meaning one is representing a gift, a homage, or a present. The second neutral meaning is that of representing an opportunity, a proposal, an offer of some kind. Apart from the first neutral meaning, the card is positive. It indicates prosperity, opportunities, and career advancements, usually thanks to the recommendation or patron of an influential person. It represents luxury goods, antiques, and objects of considerable value. It can also simply represent an object. So let's say, for example, if you lost something and this card shows up, it says that you will find it. The item may not be of a monetary value, but it will have some kind of value for you. The card represents precious advice that will be given to you, as well as a gift of considerable value. It also foretells that you will have the freedom to act as you wish in this manner. It represents one's gifts, talents, and abilities, or the protection and patronage given by someone with the means to help. It also represents influential people and the attitude of superiority and aloofness. It can sometimes simply indicate a couple that shares common goals and are able to compromise, work together, and live harmoniously under the same roof. It also indicates commonality of interest and ideas between two people. Financially, it is extremely positive as it heralds a prosperous business, career advancement, advantageous business proposals, and subsequent wealth. It also indicates having the means to expand and fulfill one's desires. I think this is my favorite card out of all of the Sibilas. The Fairview card. Because it heralds the arrival of something, news, or an opportunity in a very short period of time. The telescope being depicted the wrong way around is a metaphorical description that you are not merely observing something from afar, but something that is coming towards you. The meaning is neutral. Whatever and whoever will arrive will be indicated by the cards that follow. What we don't see, well, we see the cards that follow, we can say. On its own, in a reading about love, it signifies the return of a partner or a loved one. But on a much broader level, it indicates that something hasn't fully taken shape. Usually that the future has not yet been defined and there is still time to change events. It can indicate the unavoidable arrival of something or someone in whatever area inquired about. Emotionally, it may indicate anxiety, trepidation, or impatience, or all emotions associated with the uncertainty of waiting for something or someone to arrive. It also warns not to pry into other people's lives and to mind your own business, inviting you to look within instead for introspection and self-analysis of your own behavior. But it can also indicate the arrival of good surprises. Again, this card is also connected to long distances, faraway places, and locations abroad. So that comes up again. Now, pretty much three of the most positive cards and not really the most positive, because the two most positive cards are the Superbia and the Fortuna. But these are all good cards, okay? Because what we have is the Conversazione, the Ace of Cups. And basically it's a neutral card, I'm going to say. It's more of a neutral card, but here it is. It represents conversations, interviews, oral examinations, invites to social events, especially those that imply being gathered around a table, such as a lunch or dinner, an invitation, meetings with a purposeful and productive aim. It predicts tranquility and happiness. Now, if there were a, what do you call it? A significator card, a person card near this, it would say, like, if it was the Donna Maritata, it would be saying that the married woman is talking about, but there are no significator cards. What there are is lots of people. So I don't know if this was a trip associated with some kind of celebration, marriage, graduation, engagement, I don't know, just a vacation, maybe getting together with a bunch of people. Maybe this was some kind of networking event for work, whatever the case may be, an audition, something of that nature. Okay, I'm not exactly sure yet. That obviously went kind of sideways. So the card says, in a work or financial context, it heralds new connections, a good offer or contracts, new business dealings, decisions about contracts, business plans, and new or more clients. In love, it gives hope if disagreements have taken place and good prospects for the future of the relationship. In a friendship, it represents good times ahead, harmony, and meeting new friends. In a family context, it represents reunions, reconciliations, and family events. Now, there's one other main and neutral meaning, and this refers to family or extended family, or a group of people who spend a lot of time together. So this could be roommates, colleagues, classmates. And it says that what will affect or has affected the group will be clarified by the surrounding cards. Something's gone backwards. That's all the card says. Here is the Five of Cups, the happiness of the heart. And there is a connection related. Let me explain it to you. First, this is a card of a wedding celebration because of the hairdo. I don't know if you can see the little pin sticking out of her hair. This was a traditional, can you see them? This was a traditional headdress for Italian brides in northern Italy back in the day. The man who is showing with his face leaning towards the woman, okay, is the groom. And the other man who, this is the groom, and this is her brother or another relative. The connection is seen as allegorical, as the color of the woman's skirt, red, represent blood ties, is also the color of the second gentleman's shoes, ribbon, stockings, and jacket. And it implies that the two are related to each other. See, his shoes are red, his jacket is red. His pants are green, as is her top. So they are related to each other. Now, it represents the arrival of good news, fulfillment, recognition, happy times for your warrior, celebration of support by someone close. It also indicates marriage, achievement, passionate love, engagement, and a positive family event, i.e. a christening, a graduation party, or a birth. It says that if personal relationships were troubled, it heralds a reconciliation. It represents requited love and or a period of emotional stability and often passion with another. It indicates the presence of loyalty and the ability to make a commitment in more than one area, so this is also in business. It foretells of the answer to a prayer, a fulfilled hope, and a period of happiness ahead. It guarantees success and realization. In business, it represents a good investment, achievement, good contracts, and financial stability. And then finally, so that's why I say I don't know what you're worried about. I mean, I get that there may be some tricky things. Maybe you haven't gotten the answer back. Maybe you're waiting to hear back on some kind of approval, or, you know, the word to go ahead on something. Maybe there was a couple of times you may have butted heads with somebody, a clash of wills, or whatever the case may be. There's something that you haven't seen about the situation. And more than anything, this is making you a bit nervous. Trust whatever your instincts are telling you. Okay, but it still doesn't mean that you can't, if you get your perspective right, okay, and clear up the way that you're thinking or feeling about the situation, that you can't see your way through this. Here is the Nine of Wands. So to me, it looks like some kind of, I don't know if this was, you know, canceled because somebody got sick, or maybe somebody changed their mind, and maybe now they're thinking about it and they may come back, you know, and say, hey, look, I changed my mind. I don't know. Because these are three cards of socializing. And this could have to do with the coronavirus. The states are starting to open back up. So this could be that something that's going to be coming up, or something that you're going to have to go through. Maybe this is the fear that, you know, you're going to have to go meet in a room full of people and you're scared that you might get sick or something. Well, of course, you know, take your, you know, use your precautions, use your best sense and judgment. Okay? Because this card says it represents a party, a happy event, a celebration, a holiday, a birth, a graduation, a wedding. It represents any occasion that gives cause for celebration and happiness with other people. That's three cards that's telling you that there's some kind of event coming up where there are going to be more people there. They're going to be sitting around a table. There may be food, eating, drinking, dancing. Okay? In love, it is a good omen signaling happy times ahead and overcoming a difficult time. More specifically, it indicates going out for a meal, a fancy date, or a holiday together. Basically, the card represents any place where people will gather to be merry and enjoy themselves. Now, it can also represent just your drinking buddies or a group of friends who you see socially, as it does not imply necessarily a deep friendship. Whereas here you have a celebration. Here you're having conversations with people that you know, right? You're meeting new people. You see these two ladies here. have their arms around each other. He's standing on the side of the woman. These two people are related to each other. Okay? I would think that these two guys may be related to each other. Then we have this great celebration. There's the groom and there's the family, the members supporting, right? And then we have these people showing up. So it says that while this card does not necessarily imply a deep friendship, it could indicate a fair weather friend. So more attention will need to be paid if the friend seems to have the potential to become a lover, in which case he or she can be motivated by self-interest instead of genuine love. Now, generally it describes creative endeavors connected to dancing, music, and the entertainment industry. But it can also indicate confidence and a lack of fear. In financial matters, it stands for happiness thanks to an achievement and financial success. It heralds a period of good luck and is extremely auspicious when gambling. Now, I don't know what this thing is that you can't see or why it is you feel that you're stuck in this particular situation. But as I said, you can see your way out of it, right? I don't know, maybe you're feeling sorry for yourself. I don't know. I didn't even look at that, did I? The Eight of Swords to see if it tells me something next to the Judgment card or not. So let me take a look. I didn't even look at that. Or the Four of Wands or the Three of Pentacles. I didn't look at any of those. Three Eights tells of anxiety, hassles, obstacles, and delays. Eight of Cups, Eight of Wands, Eight of Swords. That's what it says. Doesn't tell me anything being next to these cards here. These High Priestess and the Judgment. Let me take a look at this Three of Pentacles for you. Nothing about the Three Pentacles appearing next to any of these cards. And finally, the Four of Wands. Nothing about the Four of Wands. Two fours. We have the Four of Pentacles. So there's something that is making you feel insecure. I don't know what that is. So let's take a look at the formulated question for the angel answer cards. Uh-oh. God, that book. It is heavy. I'm sorry, this is the romance angel. So go ahead and formulate your question for the romance angel. I just realized that I got the books in the wrong place. Oh. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. I don't know. Maybe this is the idea that with everything that's been going on, maybe you had a wedding planned and you had to postpone it, and you just did. There's no end in sight. You don't know how this is going to end. It says forgiveness. I don't know what that means. Maybe something happened, some argument. Maybe the fact that, finances are funny and nobody's working and people are spending way more time with each other than perhaps they should. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of tension in the air. Maybe somebody called off, said, okay, well, that's it. I'm calling it off. Well, I don't know. It looks as though maybe it might be back on. So what does the Golden Nostradamus have to say? Silly little lover spat, perhaps. Maybe you thought somebody was hiding something from you when really they weren't. You know, maybe they just weren't sharing everything with you, but maybe they weren't sharing it because they didn't want to upset you or worry you, and not that they were doing it in some kind of nefarious manner. It's all about perception sometimes. See? Oh, look, the tree. Isn't that interesting? Well, I mean, we know everybody finances and careers kind of jacked at the moment. You know, I mean, you ain't the only one, right? And that's just the way it is sometimes. That upside down Four of Pentacles. Money and love have historically been linked, and this card points to this correlation. The romance angels want to disentangle you from your financial and career pressures so that you may enjoy every aspect of your life, including romance. While work can be a source of heart-opening satisfaction, it must be balanced with other facets of love, such as playfulness and laughter. You receive this card because you benefit from an infusion of such lightheartedness. Call upon the angels to elevate your mood, energy levels, finances, career, and anything else that will bring you peace. You know, you might be struggling with a partner who's really down and depressed at the moment, you know, honestly. Forgiveness can work miracles. When you release the past, a weight is lifted from your shoulders and a sense of freedom washes over you. Ask your angels to help you let go of sadness or pain caused by others so that you can be free. This card can also refer to a need for self-forgiveness. It is time to let go of any guilt you are holding on to regarding past mistakes that you may have made. Give yourself credit for having tried your best, even if the results weren't what you would have liked. Focus on the changes that you've made since then that have made you a better person. Maybe you're waiting on the person's word. Are we or aren't we? The tree, number 22. If you cannot have what you want, then settle for what you can. The stability of the tree advises caution. It is not the right time to change or take risks. Save your energy and seek stability in mind and body. I know that means something to you. I don't know what, but I know it does. So, until next time, I hope these messages helped you, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Namaste.